Dhamma Sarana. Venerable Swami Vahansa, dear children, dear teachers, and dear participants. Welcome to the 13th program of Dhamma School Online today. Before we begin the program, I have a few announcements that I need to make today, children. Now, you know, most of you are all ready because it is the start of the school holiday, and usually around or in association with the school holidays, we also have time off from the Dhamma school as well. So very similar this year, around this time of the year. For the next 2 weeks, we will not have the Dhamma school online program in line with your school holidays. So make a note for yourself. For the next 2 weeks, we will not have the Dhamma school online program because of the school holiday program as well. But what I want to make a point here is what will happen to after the school holidays. At this moment, we have not confirmed whether the program will resume like this after the school holidays, but you will be notified via an email from the temple, Dhamma school. The coordinator, Vijaydas sir, or another committee member will communicate to your parents of the future of this program. For now, we don't have the classes for the next 2 weeks, but the future of the program will be decided in the next 2 weeks and it will be communicated to you. And also, I have another announcement to make. It is about the upcoming Asala Full Moon Poya Day. Children, you know the significance. One of the significance of the Asala Full Moon Poya Day is where Lord Buddha first explained and chanted the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra. So in line with, it's a very significant moment for all the Buddhist people around the world, especially for Sri Lankans. So in line with, and also because of the monthly full moon Poya Day, the temple has organized a number of meritorious activities, the monthly seal program for next Saturday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly share a slide and show you how the program looks like. This is especially for your parents and your grandparents and adults that you can follow the seal program from home next Saturday, very similar to what we've done over the last few months for like Vesak Poya, Posam Poya, from every day, from the Saturday from 8:30 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon, and then the English Dhamma talk by our Venerable Shanta Vimala Swami Vahansa as well. So let me quickly share the slides with you so you know how it will look like, and we will communicate this to you on our Facebook page as well. So children, that's how it looks like. So the program will start at 8:30, finish around 5 o'clock, and then we have the English Dhamma talk from 5:30 to 6:30. We have a special live Dhamma sermon from Venerable Ududumbara Kashapatero that Swami Vahansa will join the program from Sri Lanka. Your parents and elders know how it is done usually. And then we also have a special Dhamma sermon from the late Venerable Kotagama Vachisara Tero will, one of the recorded Dhamma sermons as well included in that seal program. And lastly, we have Venerable Shanti Malatero will continue the English Dhamma sermon from the topic Mangala Sutta, and that is from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. next Saturday, children. I will do another reminder towards the end of the program as well. Okay. Now, with that in mind, it is time for us to invite our Venerable Panya Lokaswami Vahansa to respectfully administer 5 precepts and also to complete a guided meditation and then a short sermon. Now, children, you know Swami Vahansa in that short sermon so far have explained 8 benefits of the love kindness meditation or Metta Bhavana. So today, Swami Vahansa will explain actually the last 3 benefits. Swami Vahansa was explaining 2 at a time, but today, Hamuduro will explain the last 3 benefits of that meditation program. So with that in mind, let's respectfully invite our Venerable Murtamala Panyaloka Swami Vahansa to administer 5 precepts. Avasarai Hamuduro.
Dhamma Sarana. Good afternoon, children and parents. To observe 5 precepts, keep your palm together and up. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Please say Namo Tassa 3 times to observe 5 precepts. Namo Tassa
Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Yapi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sarane gamanang sampunnang.
Bhante.
Panati pata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Dinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Savādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surāmeraya majjapamādaṭṭhānā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramere majjapamadaṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Tisaranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammam sādukam surakkhitam katva appamādena sampādē tabbam.
Bhante.
Okay, dear children and parents, let's practice loving kindness meditation as usual. This loving kindness meditation is ultimate form of generous and selfless love that you extend to all living beings without any exception. So it is always start with ourselves. Keep your body relaxed and the mind calm. Please close your eyes gently and mentally note the posture you are sitting. Be fully aware of your posture, your body, and think, may I be free from anger, may I be free from hate, may I be free from ill will, may I be free from jealousy. No harm come to me, no difficulties come to me, no problems come to me. May I be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. May I be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Cultivate visual thinking, that you become comfortable, peaceful and happy. Imagine how you become comfortable, peaceful and happy. May I be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. May I be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Then think of your home. May all living beings in this place be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. And think of your neighborhood. Visualize the neighborhood and extend your loving kindness thoughts to your neighborhood. May all living beings living in this neighborhood be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Then think of the city that you are living. Mentally note the city. May all living beings in this city be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Then think about the country that you are living, Australia. Mentally note the map of Australia. Visualize the map of Australia and think. May all living beings in this country be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Then think about whole world, planet. Your loving kindness thoughts spreads out like clouds covering whole world. And think, may all living beings in the world be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Then think about whole universe, not only this world, there are many other worlds. There are so many living beings in the universe, long or short, small or strong or weak, seen or unseen, living near or far. May all living beings in the universe be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. You are connected with whole universe. Now without any exception, you spread out your loving kindness thoughts to whole universe, to all living beings in the universe. May all living beings in the universe be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. May all living beings in the universe be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. May all living beings in the universe be well, comfortable, peaceful and happy. Now slowly recite with me. Dukkhapatta Janidukkha Bhayapatta Janibhaya Sokapatta Janisoka Untu Sabbe Pipana. Now bring your awareness to your eyes and slowly open your eyes. Thank you. So as Siddhanta sir mentioned earlier, so I am going to explain last three benefits of the loving kindness meditation. The ninth benefit is your face will be radiant and glowing. You know, metta shows in your face. When you practice metta, negative emotions or negative defilements like anger, hate, jealousy disappear. Then mind become very calm, pleasant place. So whatever in the mind will show in your face. So that is how the face become radiant and glowing. In simple words, you become beautiful. You will have a pleasant smile in the face. And this is one of the main benefit of loving kindness meditation. The number 10 or the 10th benefit is he who practice meditate loving kindness meditation dies without being confused in mind. In other words, the person who practices loving kindness meditation dies peacefully. You know, we are all afraid of death, but death is an inevitable circumstance. You all have to face. The people who practice loving kindness meditation can face the death without disturbing or without anxiety or worries. They face peacefully. This is one of the benefits. The last benefit is that you will be born in a better place. You know, death is not the end of this long journey. Okay? We die here and will be born somewhere else. And we always like to have a happy existence, better place to be born. So those who practice loving kindness meditation will be born in happy place. It says Brahma world, higher world. Here Brahma mean actually not just the Brahma that mentioned in the cosmology. This is Brahma always mean higher or better place. Maybe divine, you can be a heavenly world or the better place. So these are the last benefit of this is the last benefit of loving kindness meditation. I explained 11 benefits. Sleep, the first one is sleep well, the second is awake well, the third is no bad dreams, fourth is dear to human, the fifth is dear to non-human, the sixth is divine beings protect you, seventh, no harm come from fire, poisons or weapons. Eighth is mind become calm and serene. The ninth is the face will be radiant or glowing. 10 die peacefully, and the 11th is will be born in better place. These are 11 benefits that explain in one of the discourses, but there are so many other benefits of the loving kindness meditation. Therefore, my dear children, practice it every day, every morning, every evening, at least 3 times in the morning before you come out of the bed. Think, may all living beings be well and happy. May all living beings be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. And at the end of the day, before go to sleep, you also think, may all living beings be well, comfortable, peaceful, and happy. You will find difference within you. You will be a better person. We know all our children are very good children, but you will be better and nicer people when you practice loving kindness benefit. May the Buddha bless you. Thank you very much. Over to Siddhanta sir.
Thank you. With respect, Ape Hamdurane, children, Swamin Vahase being very kind over the last few weeks, explaining 2 benefits at a time of the benefits of the loving kindness meditation. And today Hamduro explained the last 3 benefits of the loving kindness meditation. So I hope you learned something over the last few weeks. And we do have a very unique opportunity today is when we look at the program today, I'll explain why it is so important is if you look at the program today, our Venerable Shant Vimalaswamy Vahanse has chosen the topic to talk about 4 protective types of meditation. And in one of those meditation is Hamuduro will cover these 11 benefits one more time for you. So you can actually see that on the slide as well. So just in case if you missed out over the last few weeks, you have one more chance today to write it down or go through it again. And then we have teacher Shavinda Gajavira will explain about Lord Buddha's visit to Rajagaha to see King Bimbisara. And then we have one of our grade 9 student leader also, Theuni Karuna Ratna, will do a presentation about Venerable Patachara Theri, Venerable Arahat Patachara Theri. So that is a quick program update for the today. That's how the lessons look like. So with that in mind, let's respectfully invite our Venerable Shanta Vimalaswamy Vahanse to do the first lesson. Avasara Hamdurane.
Thank you, Siddhantaya, and thank you all the members of the panel today. As usual, children, we are here today to teach you another important lessons, which is very important for our life, for our day-to-day life, and also to have better birth in the future. So as usual, children, we have been discussing many important topics throughout these lessons. So today one is also very important to your life and for your benefit in this world and also for the benefit of your next world. So without further ado, let's begin the presentation because it is quite a big topic today. So I don't have much time. So now children, you can see on the slide, it is about Chaturaraka Bhavana for protective meditations. This is a very, very huge topic, but within 15 minutes, is it really impossible to go through all the details of each topics. But anyhow, I will try my best to explain one by one with simple ways and not in details. So I will give you overview of each meditation types. So Chaturaraka, for protective meditations. So these are the topic that we are going to talk about. Let's move on to next slide. So in my introduction, my dear children, faithful children, you may have heard about before about meditation from the lesson, from my lesson. Anyhow, for your remembrance, for your better understanding again, Bhaveti Kusalan Dhammanti Bhavana. Meditation means the development of and cultivation of mind. What we should cultivate and what should be developed. We should develop our mind and also we should cultivate wisdom. So in order to cultivate wisdom, you need to develop your mind first. You need to have concentration mind. You need to have samadhi, right? So when you have samadhi, that kind of state of mind, actually you can have wisdom. So these both wisdom and wisdom and also concentrated mind are very important for us to attain the final goal of Nibbana. That is why the Lord Buddha has delivered these 2 types of meditations. So Chitta Bhavana, mind, Samatha Bhavana, also another in Pali it says Samatha Bhavana, also Chitta Bhavana, tranquility or concentration, mindfulness meditation. So the main purpose of Samatha Bhavana is to develop our mind into one-pointedness. It means a controlled mind. In order to have a controlled mind, we should practice Samatha meditation. So the next one is Prajna Bhavana. It's also called Vipassana meditation, insight meditation in English. So when you practice Vipassana meditation, it helps you to gain wisdom to see the things as they are, to realize the true nature of the things in this world. So if you practice Vipassana meditation, you can gain such kind of knowledge. So that is all about introductions of meditation. Let's move on to our main topic today. Next slides, please. So for protective meditation, Chaturaraka Bhavana in Pali. So what are those four protective meditation, children? Have you ever heard about these before, children? I think you may have. Some of you may have heard about it, and some of you may have practiced some of them. Yeah, very good. So what are those four? Buddhanusati Mettaja Asubham Maranasati. What are these? Buddhanusati Bhavana, Metta Bhavana, loving kindness Bhavana. Buddhanusati means recollections of the qualities of the Lord Buddha. Metta Bhavana means meditation on loving kindness just before you practice, right, my dear children? Yeah, that is the one. So the another one is Asubha Bhavana, contemplation of the unattractive nature of the body, repulsiveness of the body, true nature of the body, that's called Asubha Bhavana. The last one is recollections of death, Amarananasati Bhavana. So these are called four protective meditations. I will explain to you why they are called protective meditation and what are the benefits that we can gain from practicing these four types of meditation. Let's move on. These four meditations are four of the 40 meditation objects that are described in concentration meditation, Samatha Bhavana. Children, have you heard about this before, right? You have heard about this before. In Samatha meditation, actually there are 40 types of meditation subjects or meditative objects that we can use in order to develop our mind. So these four are out of that 40 types of meditation, Samatha Bhavana. So they are called protective or guardian meditations. Why? As they can help the meditator to protect and guard the mind against arising of the mental defilements. What are those defilements, children? Can you read with me? First one is lack of faith. The next one is lust. And the next one is aversion. And the next one is lethargy. And the next one is boredom. Next one is restlessness. And also the lack of motivation and also doubts. So those are the defilements, mental defilements that always arise in our mind. So when we have these kind of mental defilements, actually those defilements stop us or disturb us I mean, they don't let us to have the concentrated mind. They disturb us. They don't allow us to have a proper concentrated mind. Therefore, we need to get rid of all these defilements. So to get rid of those defilements, we need to practice these four types of meditation. And also those meditations helps to develop positive and beneficial mental state of mind, having eradicated all those negative mental states, and then help us to develop and enhance the positive and beneficial state of mind. So every meditator who practices either tranquility meditation, Samatha Bhavana, or insight meditation, Vipassana Bhavana, should master these 4 subjects for meditation, namely recollection of virtues of the Buddha, loving kindness meditation, repulsiveness of the body, and recollections of the dead. So, if anybody wants to practice samatha bhavana or insight vipassana meditation, these 4 types of meditations should be practiced by those practitioners, those meditators. So my dear children, you don't have to worry about practicing all of these, but if you can try at least one, that would be great. So the recollection of the first one is recollections of the qualities of the Buddha. This is very familiar to you, right, children? Every day you recite this. Do you recite this every day at your home? Yes, we do, right? Like Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho. So this stanza contains the 9 qualities of the Lord Buddha. So that is called recollections of the qualities of the Buddha. The first protective meditation is the contemplation of the Buddha. This is both devotional and aspirational practice. This is also called meditation on the 9 qualities of the Buddha. The meditator should make himself familiar with these qualities of the Buddha and should contemplate on them. So children, what you need to do is you need to contemplate on the 9 qualities of the Buddha, and also you have to be familiar with them. So 9 particular qualities or virtues are reflected during the Buddhanusati meditation. So when we practice Buddhanusati meditation, actually we recollect or we contemplate on the 9 qualities of the Buddha. What are those 9 qualities? Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijjacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Sattha Deva Manussanam Buddho Bhagavati. I don't have enough time to explain all these 9 qualities in English in details because of the time limitation. So if you want to learn more, please go on Google and try to search them and try to learn more. So let's move on to next slide, please. What are the results that we can accumulate or that we can get from the practice of the Buddhanusati Bhavana? The recollections of the Buddha's virtues in the form of meditation will help the meditator to increase respect and reverence for the Buddha, while at the same time it helps us to increase the confidence and unshakable faith in the Buddha and his enlightenment. So children, if you have some doubts or if you have lack of faith or about Buddha and his teaching, but when you practice this kind of meditation, actually it helps you to increase your unshakable faith and also your confidence on the Buddha and his teaching. And recollections of the Buddha makes your mind extremely calm. When you practice Buddhanusati Bhavana, it helps you to calm your mind and also to bring your mind happy mood and also peace into your mind. Your mind will become peaceful and you become calm and happy. And also dispel all the defilements of doubt of the Buddha and his teaching. So if you have any kind of doubts about the teachings of the Buddha, by practicing the Buddhanusati Bhavana, it helps you to eradicate or get rid of all these doubts about the teachings of the Buddha and about the Buddha. So those are the results of practicing Buddhanusati Bhavana. Let's move on to the next one, please. You know that next type of meditation is loving kindness meditation. This is the one you just practice under the advice, under the guidance of Venerable Panyaloka. So let's talk about a little bit about loving kindness meditation as well. Metta Bhavana or loving kindness meditation is a method of developing compassion and love. Loving kindness meditation is a special type of Buddhist meditation that aims to cultivate unconditional kind attitude towards oneself and others. Do you know who has this who has unconditional love? Do you know who has that? Your parents. They have they have unconditional love towards their children. So children, you also should develop such kind of loving kindness towards all the living beings, all animals and all creatures in this world. So in loving kindness meditation, the primary aim is to send unconditional love, positive feelings, amity, and goodwill to others, starting from familiar people and extending to all living beings in this universe without expecting anything in return. So you should spread your loving kindness, and you should expand your loving kindness towards all living beings in this world, and then you can gain lots of benefits as well. The traditional formula of loving kindness meditation is start with may I be well and happy, or may all beings be well and happy. So you can practice this meditation. It's very, very easy and very common, very simple and very beneficial for you. And let's move on to next slide, please. The benefits. What are the benefits that we can get by practicing loving kindness meditation? The practice of metta bhavana helps to overcome negative feelings such as anger, hatred, and ill will. These are the negative thoughts and negative things that always arise in our mind. We should not let them arise in our mind. We should eradicate them permanently. So how can you eradicate those things? You need to practice loving kindness. Further, according to the Lord Buddha, loving kindness meditation bring these following benefits. Earlier, when the Panyaloka Thero, he explained 11 types of benefits that you can gain or that you can accumulate through the practice of loving kindness meditation. So you all know the benefits of practicing loving kindness meditation. So I don't have to go one by one in details. You know that, right? Sleep well, wakes up well, has no bad dreams, and loved by human beings, non-human beings, right? And protected by devas, and never get any harms from fire, weapons, or poison. And you may be able to concentrate mind easily, and you have a clear complexions. And also when you die, you may have a peaceful mind. You die mindfully, and if you are not be able to attain arahantship or arahant, then you will reborn in a Brahma world, happy worlds in the future. These are the benefits that you can gain through the practice of loving kindness. Yeah. So the next type of meditation is meditation on repulsiveness of the corpse or body, dead body, asubha bhavana. Asubha. The third contemplation is one that is not widely practiced as it ought to be. You know that at the times of the Buddha and long time ago, many people, many monks and many devotees practice this asubha bhavana. It's helped you to understand the true nature of our life, like the impermanence of our body and decaying of our body. But at that time, the many people practice this meditation. But at the modern time, not many people want to practice this one. It's like it's unpleasant thing. Many people think that it's unpleasant, but it gives you very good result, my dear children. So this is the meditation on body, focusing on the unlovely aspects of the dead body. The traditional method is to visualize the corruptions of the dead body. So this is the meditation on the dead body by looking at or visualizing the dead body, the stages of the decaying of the dead body. So you have to meditate on this dead body, the changing and the decaying of the dead body, the process of decaying of the dead body. The recollections of the 32 loathsomes parts of the body, Kaya Gata Sati, is one of the 10 recollections described as a suitable meditation object for concentration meditation. So if you want to get samadhi or concentration in your mind, you should practice this recollections meditation, recollections of your dead body, Kaya Gata Sati. It's a very crucial and very effective and beneficial meditation in order to gain the concentration. In Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha described mindfulness of repulsiveness of the body, particular manasikara, as one of the 6 techniques to be practiced under the contemplation of the body, Kaya Anupassana. So in the Satipatthana Sutta also, the Buddha has explained the importance of the practicing meditation on repulsiveness of the body, Kaya Anupassana, right? Particular manasikara. So in that way, it's very important. Let's look at the benefits that we can get by practicing Asubha Bhavana. What are the benefits? It helps you to reduce desire and attachment for your body. So if you understand the true nature of the dead body, actually it's helped you to have less attachment to your physical body, and helps to understand the true nature of body, like impermanent, right? Everybody subject to face this kind of situation. Even though we maintain our body nicely and happily, one day, once our consciousness and our heatness gone from our body, then our body start decaying, right? It's very unpleasant, our body, even though it look nice now, but when it dies, it's very unpleasant. So if you practice this meditation, actually it's help you to have less attachment to this physical body. So let's move on to the last type of meditation. The last one is recollection of death, Marananusati Bhavana. Recollections of death is one of the 10 recollections out of 40 meditation objects suitable for concentration. This is also very important for you to concentrate your mind in order to gain the samadhi. This is also very best meditation you can practice. Marananusati or Marananusati, mindfulness of death or death awareness, is Buddhist meditation practice that uses various visualization and contemplation techniques to meditate on the nature of the dead, right? So how we should do this kind of meditation? The easiest method or simply method is that one method is to think of being known one who has already died, and to rise the thoughts just as this died and is no more, so I too will not escape from the death. What you have to do is that, my dear children, you also need to think that one day I also have to face this situation. If you happen to go to the funeral, or if you happen to go to someone's dead house, or if you happen to see the dead body, one day you have to think like this: one day I also have to face this situation. Nobody can escape from the death. Death will come to me anytime, any occasion, in any form. So that is the true nature of our life. We have to face to this true nature of life. So death is the life is uncertain, the death is certain. So death will always come to us anytime. Therefore, we also have to contemplate on death. So if you have a very good, if you have good understanding of the death, like thinking that I may too die one day, so actually you will gain lots of benefits. Let's talk about the benefits of practicing Marananusati Bhavana. The benefits of recollections of death, Marananusati Bhavana. The recollections of death can work as a powerful antidote to laziness, lethargy, and lack of motivation, and also create a sense of heedfulness, urgency, motivation, and energy in the meditator to continue the meditation. So if you know that you also may die one day, once your longevity is over, then you start practicing meditation, you start practicing wholesome activities. So it encourages you to practice wholesome deeds, right? And it helps to understand the impermanence of life as well, and it encourages one to do wholesome deeds. So practice of Marananusati Bhavana helps you to gain this kind of benefits as well. Let's move on to my conclusion then. So, in conclusion, my dear children, the protective guardian meditations are an invaluable resources for meditator who are engaged in both concentration meditation, samatha bhavana, and insight meditation, vipassana bhavana. They can be practiced when mental hindrances and other negative mental states are significantly affecting for the progress of one's meditation. Each of these four protective meditations perform a specific functions and can be practiced to overcome specific mental hindrances. Practice of these four protective meditation help us to develop four jhanas and also abhinya and also supernatural powers. So my dear children, these all about my presentation. So what you need to learn is that you have to practice these four types of meditations, Chaturaraka Bhavana, in order to gain a fully concentrated mind. If you want to get Samadhi, fully awareness of your mind or fully awareness, you need to practice these four types of meditation. So when you have well-developed mind, if you have well-developed state of mind, samadhi, actually then you can use that concentrated mind to practice vipassana meditation. In that way, you can actually realize the final goal of Nibbana. So I hope that that is all about the Chaturaraka Bhavana. I hope that you may have learned something from this topic, and I want you to practice them, and I want you to put them into practice every day, at least one types of meditation daily. So try to benefit from this, and I wish you all the best. If you have any questions regarding about my presentation, please don't hesitate to ask any questions later on. Wish you all the best. See you sometimes later. Over to you, Siddhantaya. Thank you very much.
Everyone, Sarnai, thank you, Ape Hamudurane, for explaining those four protective types of meditation very clearly and in detail. Children, the beauty of these, most of these meditation practices is you do not have to sit down, cross your legs, have your palms together. You can do it at any time while you're in the bed, while you're walking, but you just need to focus, pay attention, be mindful, and like Swami Vahansa explained, you can do that meditation, these types of meditation at any moment. And I hope you will continue to practice them even more in the future. So we thank Swami Vahansa one more time with respect, and it is time for us to move on to our second lesson of the day. I mentioned earlier very briefly, it is our teacher Shavin the Gajavira is doing this lesson. And it is about Lord Buddha's visit to Rajagaha to see King Bimbisara after achieving the enlightenment. So let's see what Shavin the teacher has to explain to us today, and let's invite teacher to do the lesson. Over to you, teacher.
Hi, Bowen, Venerable Sir, teachers, parents, and students. I'm Shavin the teacher from the year 4 at the Sunday school. Today I'm going to talk about keeping the promise. Let me open my slides. King Bimbisara ruled the kingdom of Magadha. Its capital was Rajagaha. After the renunciation, ascetic Gautama visited Rajagaha for alms rounds. King Bimbisara visited him to rule the country with him. At the time, ascetic Gautama declined but promised to come back after becoming the Lord Buddha. So children, can you remember the ordination of 3 Kashyapa brothers in Uruvela? What are their names? 3 brothers' names are Uruvela Kashyapa, Nadi Kashyapa, and Gaya Kashyapa. Lord Buddha visited Rajagaha with ordained Kashyapa brothers and their 1,000 followers. So, when Lord Buddha visited King Bimbisara, happily received the arrival of Lord Buddha. The king attained the first stage of enlightenment, which is called Sotapanna, after listening to Dhamma. Children, can you remember the other three stages of enlightenment? Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahat. Then the king invited the Lord Buddha and his disciples to his palace for dana. A huge crowd came to pay homage to Lord Buddha. When he went to the palace next morning, children, I know you all know the word homage, which is showing respect. Then the king offered dana to the Lord Buddha and the 1,000 bhikkhus. After the dana, the king Bimbisara offered a bamboo grove, as known as Veluvanarama, to the Lord Buddha and his disciples to stay. As the king poured water as a mark of donation, the earth quaked, as if the main roots of the Lord Buddha's teaching had been firmly rooted. Venuvanarama was the first monastery donated to the Lord Buddha. The Lord Buddha stayed there for 3 consecutive rainy seasons and further 3 rainy seasons thereafter. Children, do you know what rainy season means in Buddhism? During the rainy season, monks retreat and continued to pursue their meditative quest and begged alms from local townspeople. End of the rainy season is called Katine. Children, do you remember when we had our Katine Perahara at the temple last year, which is usually held at October to November? So, the Lord Buddha preached many suttas at Venuvanarama, and many people attained different stages of Nibbana. After completing the ceremonies, King Bimbisara could not sleep in the night. There were haunting sounds all over the palace. The next morning, he went to see Lord Buddha to ask why it had happened. Do you know why it had happened, children? Can you remember the presentation you listened to 2 weeks before about sharing merits with the departed relatives? So, the king's departed relatives, who were born in Petha, or we call them hungry ghosts, waited anxiously for him to offer merits. The king forgot to share merits with the departed relatives. So, the Lord Buddha instructed the king to share merits to the departed ones. King Bimbisara then invited the bhikkhus, led by the Lord Buddha, to have dana at his palace. The Lord Buddha, by his supernatural power, showed the king, the Petha, who were waiting after offering dana and sharing merits. They all were free from their Petha existence. Then he offered robes, bedding, and monastic dwellings, and shared merits again. The Pethas said, "Sadhu, sadhu," and received celestial clothing, bedding, and celestial mansions. With reference to that incident, the Lord Buddha preached Tirokuddha Sutta. You have already listened to the story of Venerable Sariputta Thera and Venerable Moggallana Thera. When Lord Buddha was staying in Rajagaha, there were 2 friends, Upatissa and Kolita. Upasita met Venerable Assaji Thera and became Sotapanna after listening to only 2 lines of a gatha. Kolita, however, attained some same stage after listening to the same gatha from his friend Upatissa. Both met Lord Buddha, became bhikkhu, and attained Arahat stage. Lord Buddha declared them as 2 chief disciples. For the next 37 years, King Bimbisara lived as a devoted Buddhist. Can you remember the last week's presentation about the florist Sumana? I will quickly touch on the story where Sumana was a florist supplying jasmine flowers to the King Bimbisara. So, one of King Bimbisara's queens, who was named Kema, became a bhikkhuni. She was one of the 2 chief bhikkhuni disciples. Children, do you know the meaning of bhikkhuni? Bhikkhuni is a fully ordained female monastic. Male monastics are called bhikkhus. Both bhikkhuni and bhikkhus live by the Vinaya, a set of rules. You will hear in the next presentation a story of a bhikkhuni, Patachara. So, coming back to our story of King Bimbisara, he had a son named Prince Ajasat. Because of his association with Bhikkhu Devadatta, the prince imprisoned the father and tortured him to death. Later, however, Ajatasattu realized his wrong action and became a faithful follower of the Lord Buddha. This is the end of my presentation. Children, as you know, it is very important to have good friends. Remember, the king Bimbisara had a son with Ajatasattu. With association with the bad friends, which is Devadatta, the prince imprisoned his own father and tortured him to death. Also, children, do you remember the story of the two friends, Upatissa and Kolita? Because of the good association, they both became Sotapanna. So, children, choose your friends wisely. So, thank you for listening. Over to you, Siddhanta, teacher.
Thank you, Teacher Shavinder, for explaining the lesson or what happened when Lord Buddha visited to see King Bimbisara in Rajagaha. Children, if you were with us, if you were following over the last few weeks of this Dhamma school online, we've explained these events in order. You can kind of piece it together now. We spoke about the birth of Prince Siddhartha, and then we spoke about Prince Siddhartha's marriage, getting married to Princess Yasodhara, and then leaving the birth of Prince Rahula, and leaving the palace, the 6 years of struggle from there. And that's where Asati Gautama met King Bimbisara and made the promise, now after the enlightenment, return back to Rajagaha. And in between, like on the way after the 7 weeks of enlightenment, going through from town to town, and then different events, and then the story of the two main disciples, how it started, Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana, you can see, and also the Dhammapada Gatha, the Swami Nuhansa explained earlier, the importance of sharing merits with the departed relatives, and how it is happened because of King Bimbisara's late relatives, and then the story about the florist, what Swami Nuhansa explained last week. So you can see it's all together, and that is the beauty. As further you learn, you can understand it better with also the background stories, what led to, say, a specific gatha or a specific sermon or specific sutta. So it's a very beautiful journey that we've come so far. Okay, children, now it is time for us to move on to the next presentation. Now, if you were with us, you know, over the last few weeks, especially the last couple of weeks, we had some of our senior students also did some of the presentations. We had Linuki from Year 9 class last week, and then we had Sasuni from Grade 10 class week. The week before did a couple of presentations, and today is also going to happen the same thing. We have one of our Grade 9 students, Tevni Karunaratna, is also a student leader, is going to do a presentation to us today about Venerable Patachara theory. So with that in mind, let's invite Tevni to do the presentation from here. Over to you, Tevni.
Thank you, Siddhanta Sir. Dhamma Sarana. Venerable Sir, teachers, parents, students, and other listeners. I'm Tevni Karunaratna, a Year 9 student of Dhamma Sarana Sunday School, and I was given the privilege to talk to you about Venerable Patachara theory and the valuable lessons that we can all take away from her life story. Now, let's share some slides. The story of Venerable Patachara theory teaches us about anicca, or impermanence. This topic associates with the things and the people that we are attached to. The more that we're closer to something, the harder it becomes to let go. And when we come across having to let go of things that we cherish, we must remember that they are not permanent, and therefore we should not allow these things and events to cause us suffering. During the story, I advise you to think of an object or a person in which you feel you are attached. And at the end, I will talk about what's going to happen with your attachment. Now to the story. Patachara was a beautiful daughter to a wealthy merchant. She was always cared for and kept very safe. Because of this, she did not yet know the tragic realities of life. When Patachara was 16, the age in which they were required to get married at the time, her parents found her a wealthy merchant's son to get married to. But already in love with the servant boy, Patachara ran away with him and moved to a remote area. As the husband was poor, they worked hard to manage day-to-day life. Soon after, Patachara was pregnant with her first child, and wanting to follow after tradition, Patachara insisted on giving birth at her parents' place. Her husband, once neglected by his wife's parents, refused. He was scared that Patachara's parents would attempt to separate the two. She decided to leave anyways. Once her husband was not in the home, she left, informing only her neighbouring friends. When Patachara's husband heard the news, he chased after her. Patachara gave birth on the way to her parents' place, just as her husband had caught up. Then soon after, they came back to where they lived. Sometime after, Patachara was pregnant once again, and the same thing happened. When Patachara's husband caught up to her, there was a storm. Patachara asked him to gather wood to make a shelter so that she can give birth comfortably. When her husband went to get the materials, he disturbed the peace of the cobra, and his life was taken by the snake's venomous bite. Patachara gave birth alone. Through the night, she protected her children. In the morning, she found her husband dead. She was devastated and blamed the tragedy on herself. As she continued the journey to the city where her parents lived, she came across a river. Patachara was too weak to carry both children at the same time. She carried the youngest son to the other side and left him on the bank. An eagle mistook the baby for meat and took the boy away. Patachara screamed and waved, but it was hopeless. The older child thought that his mother was signaling him to come in, and as he entered the river, the current forced him under, and as a result, he passed away. Patachara was once again devastated. She lost her husband and her two sons in a short period of time. She decided to go to her parents' house for their support. But when she arrived at their village, she was unable to locate their house. When she asked the locals, they told her about how Patachara's parents' house was ruined along with them due to the heavy rain. Patachara lost her mind. She ran around the village unclothed and absent-minded, and because of her inexperience to the Four Noble Truths and the harsh realities of life, she was affected deeply by the tragedies that occurred. And finally, wandering Patachara ended up where the Lord Buddha was delivering the Dhamma. The Lord Buddha asked her, "Sister, please regain your mindfulness." And she regained her mind. Soon after, she realized who she was and what had happened to her. A devotee gave her a piece of cloth to wear. Listening to the Lord Buddha's Dhamma, she was able to overpower her negative emotions. She became a bhikkhuni or a nun, and after much work, she became an arahant. Later, Lord Buddha declared that Patachara theory was the foremost bhikkhuni on discipline. And remember that there were only 13 foremost bhikkhunis declared by the Lord Buddha. The story of Patachara teaches us about the topic of anitya or anicca, which means impermanence. Impermanence is the inability for something or someone to remain the same. Impermanence applies to all made-up things, including our loved ones and the things that we love. I hope we've all come up with an object and a person or people that we are attached to. It's important that we understand now the reality of life. The objects that we love will eventually break or rust and deteriorate with age, and then it will become unusable, not the same as it was once before. The attachment that we had to the impermanent object makes us suffer mentally, and the people that we are close to will eventually reach the last points in their life, or they might move far away and they may no longer communicate with you. When these points have been reached, it's important that we remember that they are impermanent, and we should reduce attachment and let go to prevent suffering. That is the end of my slides. Brothers and sisters, it's important to understand how fortunate we all are to have this opportunity to learn about the Dhamma. And that's why we should all take any opportunity we can to learn about the Dhamma as quickly as possible and attempt to escape the samsara by attaining Nibbana. I hope you can all take away something from this lesson. May the Triple Gem bless you. Thank you. And back over to you, Siddhanta sir.
Wonderful, Tevni. Very well done. Very nice presentation you just did about the Venerable Arahat Patachara theory. Quite courageous, confident, good pronunciation with some of the Pali words. So we thank you once again taking the opportunity as a senior student and sharing a presentation with your fellow students. Very well done. Children, now, like Tevni mentioned at the very end, you are come up with number of problems in life. You are faced with number of problems. For example, Patachara lost almost 5-6 of family members in a very short period of time, husband, 2 children, and the family, and then she went crazy. But fortunately, she found Lord Buddha, and the Dhamma, access to Dhamma, gave her the peace of mind and awakened kind of a wisdom. So it is the same thing. The Dhamma is still here, even though Lord Buddha physically is not here. So what you will need to do is in life, if you come up with all these problems, you can always associate with Dhamma. You can always speak to Swami Vahanse, your parents, and you can try to look at some of the answers in accordance the teaching is Buddhism, because that will help you with finding the true answers or understanding what is happening. Like Tevni mentioned, the impermanence. Swami Vahanse also explained in the Asubhaya Bhavana the impermanence of our body and the things that we cannot control, but the teachings of Buddhism will help you understand these concepts, these teachings further. So whenever, if you are faced with a problem like this in the future, that's how the life is. But I want you to remember that you are very fortunate and you do have access to Dhamma. And continue to learn your Dhamma lessons. So that is the important message there. Now, children, it is the time for questions and answers. We have received a few questions to start off with. The first question it is for our Venerable Shantamula Swami Vahanse from Hamuduro's lesson. So let's find out what the question is first. The first question we have received is for Hamuduro is, it's actually a very important question. That is, why Venerable Upatissa and Kolita, relatively young 2 young monks, were given the opportunity, or not the opportunity, the title as the 2 main disciples, when there were more senior Arahat Swami Vahanse or Theros like Asaji Thero was there. So I will repeat the question one more time, Hamudurane. Why Upatissa and Kolita Theros were given the titles of chief disciples when there were more senior students like Arahat Asaji, Arahat Kondancha, the first one of the first of the 5 ascetics. So that's the question, how that happened. With respect, over to you.
Thank you, Siddhanta Ayya. Thank you, student who raised up that questions. It is a very intelligent question, smart questions, and I really happy to answer to that questions. Why Lord Buddha appointed Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana as his main 2 chief disciples? It has long story, my dear children. You know that during the times of the Padumuttara Buddha, the Venerable Sariputta was born as a devotee of that the dispensation of the Buddha, Padumuttara, and at that time, Venerable Sariputta, he saw that Venerable Buddha Padumuttara has 2 main disciples at that time. So from that day onwards, Venerable Sariputta made a strong determination and strong vows to be one of the main disciples of the Gautama Buddha in the future. So that was his strong determination and his strong wish, to be one of the main chief disciples of the Buddha. And that he also told this message, vows or determination to his friend Moggallana. So that happened because you know that it is happened because of their strong determination and strong wish to be two chief disciples of the Buddha. So they are strong vows to be chief disciples of the Buddha. So from that day onwards, Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana spent many lives. I think it's 1 eons, if I'm not wrong, 1 eons of time. It's a long time. Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana practice the perfections to be chief disciples of the Buddha. So the answer is that it is their vows and it is their strong determination and wish to be chief disciples of the Buddha. That's why the Buddha appointed them as his two main chief disciples. Even there were some senior citizens over there. Yeah, senior monks over there. Over to you, Siddhantaya.
Thank you with respect, Ape Hamdurane, for explaining that question, how that happened. And children, like Swamin Wahanse explained, when Venerable Kolita and Venerable Upatissa wanted to or had the desire to become the two chief disciples in one of the Buddhist era, and that's for that they had to complete number of virtues and number of perfections to be able to achieve that. It's not necessarily the seniority or the age of the bhikkhu, but it is just what they wanted to do and what they wanted to accomplish in their last life and in that particular Buddhist era. So, but they had been completing those virtues from a very long time. Now we have received a question for our teacher Shavinda from the lesson he just did, Lord Buddha's visit to see King Bimbisara in Rajagaha. The question is, who were the two chief disciple Theris, and how many were there? How many chief disciple Theris were there? I'll repeat the question one more time, teacher Shavinda. Who were the two disciple Theris, and how many other disciple Theris were there? Over to you, teacher.
Thank you, Siddhanta teacher, and that's a great question. So, as you heard from the story, one of the chief disciples is Kema, is one of the King Bimbisara's wife, and the other is Uppalavanna Thera. It is said Uppalavanna Thera has a body complexion like a lotus flower. So the second question, it was how many thereafter? There was 13 bhikkhunis afterwards as well. So I hope that answered the question. Over to you, Siddhanta teacher.
Thank you, teacher Shavinda. And that's a very nice, important question as well. Whoever Dua or Puta asked that question. Yes, there were two chief disciple Theris, and in total there were 13. And even if I may add something to that, teacher Shavinda mentioned Theri Uppalavanna had a complexion of a lotus flower, and that is also a result of a previous that she done certain specific types of merits, and she wished to have that complexion, and she was born with that. So that was a result of a previous merit she's done, Uppalavanna Theri done. So I have one more question for our Venerable Swamin Wahanse from the lesson. It's another important question is, what happened to Princess Yashodhara after the enlightenment of Lord Buddha, and what happened to Princess Yashodhara and the story of Princess Yashodhara, Swamin Wahanse? That's the question. If you could answer shortly in a few sentences. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddhantaya, and thank you, student who asked that questions again. I'm glad to answer to that questions as well. You know that after the enlightenment of the Lord Buddha visited their family, right? Family of the Suddhodana, his father Suddhodana, the king Suddhodana, and his previous wife Yasodhara. And there was a small prince Rahula. And when the Buddha came there, the Rahula also became a novice monk, right? And the Lord Buddha also became an enlightened Buddha, and also Rahul also became a novice monk. So after then, later on, Yasodhara also became a bhikkhuni, a nun, and then she got enlightenment later. She became an arahant later on. And that time, before the Lord Buddha passed away 2 years ago, I think when Yasodhara was 78 years old, she passed away. She attained into Nibbana, Parinibbana. So then 2 years later, the Lord Buddha, at the age of 80, he passed away or attained into Parinibbana. So before the Lord Buddha entered into Parinibbana, the Bhikkhuni Yasodhara passed away at the age of 78 years old. Yeah. I hope that I answered the questions. Over to you, Siddhanta. Yeah?
Thank you with respect, Apehamdurani, for explaining what happened to Princess Yasodhara. Yes, later on, Princess Yasodhara also became a Theri, achieved the status of Arahat, and passed away 2 years before the great passing of Lord Buddha. If you do remember, Lord Buddha, Princess Siddhartha, and Princess Yasodhara were also born at the same year. So they were at the sort of same age, but Princess Yasodhara or Arahat Yasodhara passed away 2 years before the great passing of Lord Buddha. Now I have a question for Tevni from the lesson Patachara Theri. Tevni, the question is there any other lessons that we can learn from Arahat Patachara's theory? I'll quickly repeat the question. Are there any other lessons that we can learn from the story of Arahat Patachara theory? Over to you.
Thank you, Siddhanta sir, and thank you to the student who asked this question. It's very interesting. Now, we can see from the story of Patachara Theri that after all of her loved ones passed away, she was at a very low stage of her life. She went crazy and she was running around unclothed and she wasn't herself. But through hard work and the aid of the Dhamma and the Lord Buddha, she regained her mindfulness and she rose to a high level. And we can take this example from Venerable Patachara Theri and use it for ourselves. When we are at a low stage in our lives, we can always remember the teachings of the Lord Buddha. We can meditate, and through regaining our mindfulness, we can come back to a higher stage and be successful. Over to you, Siddhanta sir.
Thank you, Tevni. Very well done for answering that question. Yes, children, that you may go through certain difficulties, very difficult times in your life, and you will see, in modern day we say you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but that is not the case. There are reasons and there are other ways, and that is a short answer to summarize Tevni's detailed answer. Now, I received a question for Venerable Swami Vahase. Looks like we have received quite a few questions today. That is a great sign, children, that you are engaged with us and continue to learn. Avasarai Apehamdurani, the question that we have received for you is, if we continue to meditate, can we achieve some powers? I will repeat the question one more time. If we continue to meditate, can we achieve some powers? Is the question. Over to you with respect.
Thank you, Siddhanta. Again, thank you, student who asked me these questions again. Yeah, actually, we can gain lots of powers if we practice meditation. You know that if you practice samatha bhavana, mindfulness meditation like anapanasati bhavana and other 40 types of meditative objects. So by practicing samatha meditation, calm meditation, actually it's helped us to gain, earlier I said that some spiritual powers like pancha abhijna and also some other supernatural powers you can actually gain. And also, that is not the important things to gain power like supernatural powers like pancha abhijna, but the main purpose should be of practicing meditation is to gain the concentrated mind, one-pointedness of your mind. So if you have such kind of state of mind actually, then you can use that kind of state of mind to practice Vipassana meditation, insight meditation, then actually you will be able to attain the final goal of Nibbana. So the purpose of practicing meditation is to attain the final goal of Nibbana, or to realize the true nature of the things and to gain the ultimate goal of Buddhism, but not to gain some supernatural powers like Dibbasota or the divine eye or divine ear. In that way, not to gain such kind of supernatural powers, but to realize and gain the enlightenment. I hope I answered the question. Over to you, Siddhanta.
Thank you. With respect, Ape Hamdurane, one more time for explaining that question. But the key message there is, children, not to go after the powers or the supernatural things, but use that, and the focus should be on the Vipassana Bhavana, and then focus more on developing your wisdom that will eventually lead you to end this cycle of samsara. Now, I've received a question for Teuni this time from the lesson Patachara Teuni. The question is, why did Patachara decided to go to their parents' house when she was pregnant and when she was about to give birth? Over to you, Teuni.
Thank you, Siddhanta sir. Patachara went to her parents' house to deliver the baby, and this was because she was most comfortable around her parents, because they're the ones that truly loved her and cared for her. And that's why she felt most comfortable delivering with her parents, so they can offer her some sort of comfort. And that's why she went to her parents' house. It was a tradition and she wanted to follow that. And even to this day, in some Asian cultures, people do still travel to their parents' house to deliver their children. Thank you. Over to you, Siddhanta sir.
Very well done. Very nice answer, Teuni. That's right. It is a culture. Even children, you remember when Queen Mahamaya was pregnant and expecting Prince Siddhartha, she also visited her parents in Kapilavastu, because that is the tradition. Even nowadays, coming back to, you will see maybe your parents would have visited, especially your mom would have visited her parents when you were expecting, or when your mom is pregnant and expecting you. Or in countries like this, they would have traveled over here to be with your mother and father, because that's close relationship. The close bond helps in difficult times and cherish those moments when someone's pregnant. And it is still a somewhat practice in certain cultures. Thank you, Teuni, for answering that question. And I had a quick look at the chat option. There were a couple of other questions that we received, and I'll try to answer because of the timing, and then we will summarize the program for today. One of the questions is that is from the about Saritupatissa and Kolita. What made the two boys, referring to back in the day, Upatissa and Kolita, two friends, to such a strong determination to achieve or become the two disciples of a Gautama Buddhist era? And that is because many years ago they witnessed the same thing happened. A ceremony in a previous Buddhist, another Buddha, explained and gave that title of the two chief disciples, and that strong feeling from that moment, they also decided, okay, we're going to complete all the virtues and perfection, and that we will be also able to become two disciples in one Buddhist era and in this cycle of samsara. So that's that strong determination, strong will. It is the same thing, children. If you going back about Lord Buddha, Gautama Buddha, many years ago, witnessed that and decided, yes, I'm going to become a Buddha and then achieve this, achieve enlightenment and help other people along the way and in the cycle of samsara. So that's that. And I think there was one quick question there. Why didn't Patachara understand her difficulties earlier in the story so she could have lived a better life? Well, she was grown up in a very comfortable lifestyle, so she didn't know any difficulties of life to start off with until she fell in love with the servant boy and then had to run away, and that's where she started experiencing the difficulties of life. So that's the short answer for that. Now, children, it is time for us to summarize the program. Now, a couple of reminders again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program. So that is our last program for this school term. So we don't have this Dhamma School online program next 2 weeks. And as of yet, we have not decided the future of this Dhamma School online program, but it will be communicated to you within the next 2 weeks via an email. So your parents will find out, and in events, we will publish that on Temple's Facebook page as well. So you will find out the future of the program. And I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who participated in the program, starting from our Venerable Vijayaswami Wahanse, all the other Swami Wahanse, especially Venerable Shantimula Swami Wahanse and Panyaloka Swami Wahanse, who've been two strong pillars in the program, every day visiting the program and helping us understand Dhamma. And our coordinator teacher Vijayadasa, who's behind the scenes providing all the support and guidance, all the teachers who participated in the program, and most recently our 3 senior students also who did the presentation. And lastly, all of you, because of your continuous engagement, that's why we're able to do this. Your support, your contribution, your participation is the most important thing. And the common goal is that all of us that have gone a step further in our in learning this Dhamma. And that's what we want to do. And that's the message we also want to leave you to every day. Children, and also there are a couple of key important people behind the scenes, that's Sahan Mama and Piat Mama. We cannot forget them because they are the 2 pillars behind the scenes that will help us every day to do this program live. We don't do it a pre-recording, we do it a live session. There are a lot of difficulties, challenges, but we prefer to do it because it's more valuable, more meaningful. So it is thanks for Piat Mama and Sahan Mama, who are being 2 strong pillars, the foundation of this program, technical and technical support wise. So we would like to remind their names as well. Now, before I invite Swami Wahanse for to share the merits with the divine beings, I have one more important message for you children, that is about the upcoming next Full Moon Poi Day, Asala Full Moon Poi Day program. Especially remind your parents and grandparents, because with the current restrictions, they cannot visit the temple, but the temple committee has organized everything where you can practice and observe 8 precepts from your home. So if I quickly share my screen, this is the program guideline. We have already emailed to your parents, but we will publish it on our Facebook page shortly as well. So that program is from 8:30 to 5 o'clock next Saturday, live from the temple YouTube page, and a special Dhamma sermon from Ududumbara Kashyapatero. Swami Wahanse will join from Sri Lanka. And then we have our Venerable Shantimula Swami Wahanse. Swami Wahanse's monthly English Dhamma talk will also be a live broadcast from the temple from 5:30 to 6:30. So I just wanted to do a quick reminder on what is next. So let's now, with respect, invite our Venerable Shantimula Swami Wahanse to share the merits with the divine beings. With respect, Avasarapi Handuri.
Thank you, Siddhantaya. Thank you, everyone. Let's concentrate our mind and let's dedicate some merits to divine beings and celestial beings who protect you and who guide you and who look up to you from the above. So concentrate your mind. May all divine beings be able to come forward and rejoice in these good merits which we have done just now. And may all the merits be with divine beings and celestial beings, and may all celestial beings and divine beings be able to rejoice in all these merits. Having rejoiced in all these merits, may all divine beings be able to enhance and develop their celestial world and divine world. In return, may divine beings extend their love, their protection, their guidance towards all the members of this world, and eventually may all the divine beings attain the final goal of Nibbana. Wishing that we recite these stanzas together. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahitika punyam tang anumoditva chiran rakkantu sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahitika punyam tang anumoditva chiran rakkantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahitika punyam tang anumoditva chiran rakkantu tvang sadha. I wish you all the best, children. We see you up to 2 weeks later. And also I want to remind you that please join us next Saturday at the 6:30, 5:30 to 6:30. We have our monthly English Dhamma talk, and bring this message to your friends and ask them to come and join and listen and get the benefits from this Dhamma talk. I wish you all the best. See you 2 weeks time. Teruvan Sarana.